we were a little bit lethargic in our play. We lost too many balls lost trying to play one touch, which maybe suggests a little bit of anxiety in some instances. We never really put the foot down and take full dominance of the game, in as much as they were putting a low block and at times defending in the second phase or in zone 2. We never really imposed ourselves the way we normally do. And that, in as much as I've not checked how many shots at goals we took, but on the day, I think we've had too many, and we were never really very incisive. We were not bad. We played, but more possession type of football than penetrative type of football, and we demanded that even at halftime. But we unfortunately found ourselves in a situation where we were caught on transition, and that's one area that we normally emphasize, because most of the games we play, we always face the same challenge of teams that are breaking out on transition. And I think because at that time it was just when Mulenga just came in, Memela was in a striker's position, and we gave him a bit of time and space to be able to turn and face. And I could see the run of Mulenga in between Lyle and Ricardo at the back, and I think that's where we got exposed. To be honest, poorest defense in that instance. The game could have easily gone into a draw, but unfortunately, when we make such mistakes against a fresh striker like Mulenga and the brilliance of Memela, we had to be punished. But in football, we must take it and accept it and give credit to AmaZulu, because they fought from the beginning. They really gave a good account of themselves.
Thanks, Coach. Colleagues, by the show of hands, we'll give you the chance to pose a question, to introduce yourself, and then have a go down.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Fidel?
I'm right here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, apologies. Evening, Coach. Evening, everyone. Coach, you knew this day would come. I wanted to know how proud of your team for maintaining this great run of wins and no losses, and the frequency of games. Does that impact on the freshness of players going into these games? Thank you.
Yeah, firstly, one is very proud of the team. I think the boys have fought very hard. They've made life very difficult for many teams to punish us. We were also caught to danger with a little bit of lapse in our concentration in terms of our defense. But even if this game went all the way and was a draw, we would not say it was a bad performance, but we would still feel a little bit unhappy that maybe because of the game that we played against Pirates, which I think took a lot from the team, we gave it our all. And unfortunately today, which is the hindsight, because it's not something you can see before the match as to how the team is going to show up on the game. But I don't think we were as fresh as we normally are. We were not as incisive as you would want to see. We lost far too many balls in wrong areas and exposed ourselves into counterattacks against a team that had players like Talinge, players like Memela, brilliant, and always looking for possibilities behind your defense. And Bongi was handful first half. We were fortunate that he did not have immediate support for an up back throw, because if they could come to him and still be able to bounce the ball back and find the spaces behind, you would have had more problems. But one is happy with the team. Unhappy that we have lost a match, but at the same time, in a game of football, you must accept that sometimes you will win, sometimes you lose. And today, that was that day. But the unfortunate part is that one is a little bit unhappy and edgy with the performance. We were not at our best in almost all the phases. We are hardly caught with so many counterattacks in a game, But today we were a little bit exposed, and you would ask yourself, why were we more anxious to open ourselves up for such counterattacks? And I don't think we also took a lot of shots at goals on the day.
Yes, coach.
Yeah, it's obvious at this stage of the season, and so many matches in a very short space of time, will always have issues of freshness, but it's not an excuse that you can put forward. It's just that is always hindsight, because when you know before the match is played that player so and so and player so and so is not going to be as fresh as it normally is, you would always want to change. But people like that, their teams never get to play a match, because you'll find that they know already who should have played today, who could have done better for the team, because those teams never get into the field. Whenever the team is playing, you always have another option that, hey, maybe if this one was the one in. But I think the injury to River is also a testimony to probably the load that we've had over the past few weeks, because we've never really had a break, and we've been having matches back to back, and high intensity matches expected to get a result. One game in mind, the game of Baroka, we may be looking at the Pirates game because it was a big match, a lot at stake, but the game against Baroka for me is the one that took a lot from the team, considering that we played the whole second half with one-man shot after the red card of Kemet, and we were still expected to play the Pirates game immediately thereafter, which we had to make sure we go through, because that was a 6-pointer. Then we are coming to AmaZulu now, a team that has not been at its best, but a team that has always showed signs that they can hit someone, and unfortunately we got caught.
Thanks, Coach. Veli. Veli.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Coach. Hard luck on the result. Looking at the situation right now, you remain 16 points clear at the top, and also it's not going to be a normal second round, because already now, by the time you go to the break, you'll be left with only 11 matches, but also you have a jam-packed program. Do you feel that you've done enough good job in this first round to go to the second round with a bit of comfort, looking at how your program is going to look like as from February?
Hey, at this stage, it's very difficult to be sure what's going to happen, because everything is very tight. But one must never take away the work that the players have put forward. They've done very well from the beginning up until now, and we still believe they still have a fight in themselves. The truth of the matter is, I think I was talking to Mark Listen earlier, that in as much as this program is a little bit heavy for us, because we are playing far too many matches in a very short space of time, but on the other side, we are appreciative of the fact that by the time we start in February, we would have played maybe 4 matches more than what you normally play in a normal season, which takes away a little bit of a load on the other side. And we know very well the teams that we compete with don't have these competitions that we are playing in, and maybe they will have a little bit of freshness and an edge to come at us, which is why it's still very important for us to focus more on our processes and what we would like to achieve in each and every cycle that we are playing. And at this stage, one is a little bit comfortable with what the group has done, but it's still far away from being over.
Thanks, Coach. Robin, and then can we take another final 2 rounds of questions after Robin B?
As a co-coaches at Sundowns to have suffered a loss in a league match, and then how do you guys bounce back and just to close off the year in final style against Moromo Galanto on Thursday?
Did you catch the first question? Can you repeat the first question, Robin?
Yeah. Now I was saying to coach, it's a second time in the co-coaches to suffer a league loss. And I'm just trying to find out from a coach to say, how key to bounce back and end the year on a good note.
When you say it's the second time, you're also referring to the loss of last season.
Yes, coach. Yes.
No. We have a responsibility to try and make sure that we always represent the club with a lot of dignity and honor, and we give it our best shot. That's why we try our best not to lose as many matches. I'm sure the players are hating. The change room is not the same because we are not used to losing matches, not even a friendly match for that matter. We go all out, and even a training session, we are a team that always want to win everything from a training session up until a match. So now that we have lost, maybe it will have some positive spin-offs. That anger of losing the match might give us a little bit more impetus to go to the next match and put up a little bit more of a fight. The only unfortunate part is that it will only be the last match of the year. It would have been nice if you lose and you still have maybe a pack of 4 or 5 matches after that, because I do believe the team can come back very strong after this dip, because it's not something that we are comfortable with and something we are used to. But unfortunately, we only have 1 match before we close, and one is hopeful that the boys will respond, and I have no doubt we trust these boys. And one must also give credit, man, to the whole technical team, Coach Fulane, Coach Steve, Coach Wendell, Coach David Notwane, Marcus Mashilo in the coaching department, and all our analysts and everybody else, because it's been a long journey and we have fought throughout the year, and we have a responsibility to try and finish the year maybe in a much better way than today. And one is hopeful that everybody that is involved in our team, from the technical team, the support staff and management, the board and everyone, that we will come back next year maybe stronger after our game against Galaxy.
Thank you, Coach. Really, do you have a last question?
Yes, Coach. So after Thursday's game, it's the break for you. A few weeks ago, when you spoke to Coach Rulani, he spoke about that you are still trying to see your options, and I guess maybe your options now that they've relaxed some international travel ban in some countries. Have you now at least got a picture of where you will be taking a break to?
The bigger challenge there is that the draw for the CAF Champions League has not been done. It would have been nice to know which parts of the continent we are going to be playing in the group stages, because it would give us a better and clearer picture of which areas we need to go and play friendlies on, so that we prepare ourselves for the nature of competition that we might be facing. But we do have a plan that at some point we'll have to go and maybe play more friendlies in areas that we think will help us in our preparation for the Champions League.